Well,
And listen, when they got Kevin Durant to team up with Kyrie Irving, I said, that team's coming out of the East just for those two guys. And then they added James Harden. Now you know they're coming out of the East. Now Philadelphia's playing great, and Milwaukee is still, around. But right now, when Brooklyn's healthy, you can book it right now, baby. In July, Lakers, Brooklyn in the finals.
Wow. And you got the Lakers winning in 6 or 7.
I'll take 7, but I wouldn't mind 6.
Now, let's digress a little bit. I was researching you before the interview. How did you go from the Bahamas, Miami, to cold Minnesota? Oof. Who was that recruiter that got you there?
Jim Williams and Bill Musselman. I don't know if you remember Bill Musselman.
Bill Musselman, bless his soul. Yeah.
Bill Musselman was the coach of Minnesota at the time. Jimmy Williams came down to Florida to recruit me and Osborne Lockhart, who played 20 years with the Globetrotters. Mm-hmm. And you're right. That was a culture shock going from sunny Miami. I left Miami going on my recruiting trip to Minnesota. It was like around January or something. I don't know why I went in January. But I took off from Miami. It was 80 degrees. Landed in Minneapolis. It was 16 degrees. And all I had on was a light sweater. They told me, Michael, bring something warm to wear because it's cold up here. I'd never seen snow before in my life. The furthest north I'd ever been was Tallahassee, Florida. Wow. So I hadn't even gone to Atlanta or anything like that. So, I did go to New York, but I went to New York in July in the summertime.
Right,
so,
humidity.
Yeah, so in the wintertime, I'd never been north of Florida in the wintertime. So when I got to Minneapolis, I couldn't believe how cold it was. And I said, people actually live in this? But Minnesota was a good school, is a great school, is a great conference. The Big Ten Conference is a great basketball conference back then as it is now. And I just overlooked the cold weather, fell in love with the campus, the city. The Twin Cities is a nice area. The state, people up there are really nice. And I figured, okay, I had other options. I could have gone to Houston, Florida State. But their programs weren't as big at the time as Minnesota was in the Big Ten. So Osborne and I decided to go up there.
And you had a great career. Obviously, the first pick in the 78 draft, correct?
78 draft, that's right. Yeah, it's 4 years in Minnesota. I could have left after my freshman year. In 1975, I could have left to go to the ABA. You remember the ABA with the red, white, blue ball?
Very much so.
Bill Musselman left after my freshman year, and he went to go take the San Diego sales job in the ABA. And he asked me and Mark Oberding if I want to leave school and come and sign with the San Diego sales and play with him there in the ABA. I was 19 years old at the time. I wasn't even thinking about the pros. I wasn't mentally mature enough like how the kids are today who are thinking about going pro when they're 15 years of age. I was just trying to get through classes at Minnesota and stay eligible, keep my grades up. So I wasn't even thinking about I'm going to be a pro basketball player. I wasn't even thinking about the NBA when I was a freshman and a sophomore. I was just thinking about staying eligible and having a good time at Minnesota and playing college basketball. But Musselman left in 75, so I could have signed with the ABA San Diego sales. Get this. He offered me, don't laugh, because you got to remember now, this is 1975. This was huge money in 1975. Okay. He offered me $180,000 a year. Huh? That's pretty good for a 19-year-old boy off the banana boat from the Bahamas, huh? That's a lot of money, boy.
That's a lot of money.
Who wouldn't take that today in 2021? Of course. Not a pro basketball player, of course, but just a common working man or woman would take that. But $180,000 in 1975 was a lot of money, but mentally and physically, I wasn't ready to go play with those men in the ABA. So I decided I'm going to just go back to Minnesota. And even my sophomore year and junior year, people were thinking about, hey, Michael, you should apply for the NBA draft. But I wasn't even thinking about it back then. I was just thinking about going to college. So I wasn't in a hurry to go pro like how kids are today who just want to go pro right out of high school or as soon as, of course, they're eligible out of college. So back then I wasn't thinking that way. So I decided to stay 4 years in Minnesota, and I had a great time and loved every minute of it, even though I froze my tail off.
When you look back, do you think like that was the best decision to stay and become the first pick in the draft?
Yeah, I think so. Because if I would have left my junior year, I could have left. And I was thinking about it. I was thinking, maybe should I go pro? But I had heard that if I was going to go pro that year, the Buffalo Braves were going to draft me. Now, Buffalo ended up moving to San Diego. Yeah. But I'm thinking, wait a minute, Buffalo, I know a little bit about geography. I know it snows more in Buffalo than it does in Minneapolis. When I leave Minneapolis, I don't want to go into more snow. So I decided, no, I'll just go back for my senior year because I don't want to go play in Buffalo. Got a good football team, but I don't want to live there.
Right. And on a sidebar, thank you for helping me on the Freeman Williams documentary. We won over 10 film festivals, and the film that I still haven't sold it yet, but we did a great job with it in terms of the film festival. And you did a hell of a job being a part of it, and I appreciate you helping us with that for sure.
You bet.
Yeah, that was
Freeman was ahead of his time. Can you imagine if he was playing today? The way these people shoot threes. Oh my goodness, he'd be averaging 30 points a game just shooting threes.
He'd be a max player, huh?
Oh yeah. The way he shoots, the way he could shoot the ball, yeah, he would definitely be. He would be a lot like who would you compare him to today? Maybe he didn't have the handles of a Bradley Beal. He would be more like probably like a Reggie Miller type. Just coming around, just shooting threes and running around. Yeah, he would have been that kind of player. Maybe a Lou Williams type, a guy who just knows how to.
Williams,
a guy like that
has a great knack, right?
Yeah.
70